7 even. 3 and 10 next double, 567 even. That trifecta 10.95, 531.90. Set Rose Hill.
And be off at any moment. Racing in the Premier, beautiful start. Immediately Shame drops to the back of the field, and Al Land scooting through on the inside, the narrow leader from Catalan Opening, Peruzzi and Moss Rocket. Mansell Bay trapped out very, very wide from Social Rule, Legal Agent, Nick's Joy, Pimpala Sun, then Circles of Gold, Shame, and last of all is Stork. At the 750, and Dittman gets Peruzzi across to lead the way, a bit more than a length now on our Lance. Third is Moss Rocket the outside, then Mansell Bay, Catalan Opening, Social Rule. 2.5 then coming Nick's Joy on the inside of Legal Agent, another 2 lengths to Pimpala Sun. Shame going through on the inside, and Circles of Gold is wider out as they race to the corner, and a couple of lengths to Stork. On the swing now at the 450. Peruzzi handled the bend just a little awkwardly. She straightens a length and a half on our Lance and Moss Rocket, and then Social Rule further back in the field is Catalan Opening being wound up, and Legal Agent on the extreme outside. Moss Rocket draws level with Peruzzi. Moss Rocket put his neck in front of Peruzzi, and here's Legal Agent flashing home. Moss Rocket in front, but Legal Agent's got him covered, and away goes Legal Agent to win again. Legal Agent from a tight finish, Moss Rocket and Peruzzi, Shame and Eye Catcher. Catalan Opening found it too short from our Land, Social Rule, Nick's Joy, Circles of Gold, Mansell Bay, Stork, and last Pimpala Sun. He does it again, the agent. Number 2, Legal Agent, written by Glenn Boss. $9.50 and $2.30, proving that his win in the Missile Stakes was no fluke. Of course it wasn't. A 7-year-old chestnut gelding, Legal Agent, has been able to score, and it's a pretty good go for the second and third. A photo will be called for between Moss Rocket $1.60 and number 12 Peruzzi at $1.70.
Okay, the Agent, $9.50 the win and $2.60 the place. 1 Moss Rocket if he gets second at $1.70, and fighting back number 12 there at $1.70 Peruzzi. Belmont, quickly just those in the market for race 3 at Belmont Punters. The favourite is number 2 Quicksilver on a Super Tab, $3.50 and $1.40. 1 LaCroix Medal at $4.10, $1.90. Number 6 is in the market, Remerio, 6 even, $1.80. And number 3, Carry the Gold at $6.70, $2.20. Here's Ian.
Legal Agent swamping Moss Rocket and a Peruzzi in the final stages. No sign of the numbers at this point. The judge will have a look at the print maybe for second and third. Shame's run was a ripper coming from a mile back, and Catalan Opening not disgraced, just finding 1,200 metres a wee bit too short.
While I wait for those numbers, it's 2 in a developed print between 1 and 12 there. Doom Ben, we've got the daily double, approximate sub in a second. 6 or possibly 3 third there. Now Queanbeyan, the numbers were 289, 2 Mio BB at 320 and 140, 8 second TRP paid 310, 9 third at 170. Mooney Valley, they're just about set. We'll go to Chris very shortly. Here's Mooney Valley.
Capitan hopped out very quickly down on the inside with Tafont. Unsolved was going back after the start. Norfolk Island travelling forward.
Subs number 2.
Master Grand Andre behind those, Rivertain followed by Mr Zig. Then further back in the race, Bowl Juggler and Super Express coming over from the outside. On the first turn, Le Capitan led now past Master Grand Andre. Tafont tucks in on the inside of Norfolk Island, then Mr Zig. Super Express is out deep a length further back, Rivertain. 2 to Bowl Juggler followed by Windsor Lucky Enough. 2 to Dry Show. 3 last of all Unsold. 1,000 to go. Le Capitan in control now, a length and a half past Master Wonder Grand Andre. Tafont pushed up on the inside 4th, and then Norfolk Island. Mr Zig further back in front of it, Super Express, and then Rivertain back nearer the inside, a gap of 2 lengths further back to Bowl Juggler around Lucky Enough. Then came Windsor, followed by Dry Show, and last of all to the outside, Unsold. Off the 800 metre turn they go. Le Capitan nearly a length in front of past Master Grand Andre. Super Express hasn't been able to get on the track, out 4 on the outside, right behind them Tafont waiting for the run. Rivertain got up inside it from Mr Zig around the outside of Norfolk Island. Then Dry Show, Bowl Juggler, Lucky Enough out deep. Grand Andre and Super Express have hit the front before the turn now from past Master Le Capitan. Then Tafont trying to weave its way through. Then Mr Zig followed by Norfolk Island. Before the turn, Grand Andre got the upper hand, got a length of Super Express. They're followed further back by Norfolk Island, Mr Zig, and then Tafont back behind those from Rivertain. In the straight, Grand Andre 2 in front of Mr Zig. Norfolk Island and Dry Show out wider. Grand Andre in front, getting tired. Mr Zig and Dry Show is flying on the outside. Mr Zig, Dry Show. Dry Show goes home better. Dry Show. Dry Show a neck on the line. Grand Andre ahead third, Mr. Zig. Then Bowl Juggler lucky enough from Norfolk Island, River Tane. Tafont further back from Past Master Unsold, picked up a few. Le Capitan from Super Express, who was always wide, and Windsor back at the tail.
Number 11, Dry Show, 7.90 and 2.50. 12, Grand Andre, 9.30 for third. 7, Mr. Zig, $6.
Number 11 across the line now, $8 even for Dry Show and $2.90. 12 second Grand Andre at $10 even. 7 third Mr. Zig at $5.80. Okay, Totes at Adelaide. Okay, Adelaide race 6, the numbers there were 2, 9 and 12. 2 was the winner, King of Rubitom. $2.60 the win and $1.50 for the place. Second home was number 9 and that was Festival Twig, $4.90. Third home was 12 and that was Prime Ruler, $2.50. Quinella, $31.40. Trifecta, $328 even. And the treble on 6, 5 and 2, $224.10. It was race 6 at Adelaide, and the scratching there was number 5. Let's go to Chris O'Brien.
Thanks, Jeff. The numbers here, 2, 8, 9 are official, and there's correct weight. Come.
That's the thoroughbred they call the Big O. Octagonal's brilliance during last year's Spring Carnival continued on into the autumn with an inspiring string of Group 1 victories. Today, the 4-year-old makes his return from a spell. As Leslie Tapsell reports, his mission is to become the first galloper since the legendary Tulloch to win 5 successive Group 1 races.
In the straight to link with the leader, Nothing Like a Dane looming up on the outside. Octagonal and Saintly right out in the middle of the track. Nothing Like a Dane hit the lead at the 200, but Octagonal has gobbled him up on the outside. Saintly is going to have the last shot at them. Octagonal just in front of Nothing Like a Dane. Saintly on the outside. Octagonal just in front as they get near home. Saintly lunged. Octagonal wins the Guineas from either Saintly on the outside or Nothing Like a Dane, which kicked again. You couldn't have written the script any better than that.
It was the scene stealer of racing's autumn show. The Guineas clash of Octagonal, Saintly and Nothing Like a Dane galvanised a rivalry that promoters dream of. A rivalry that blossomed amongst 3-year-olds and one that's sure to intensify now the combatants are a season wiser.
Saintly and Octagonal, Beedman throwing everything at Octagonal, he gets there, yes, Octagonal wins the derby.
The winner of round 1 is the first to return to the ring. The Manicato Stakes unveiling the 4-year-old frame of Octagonal.
The Melbourne people never saw the horse, obviously, because he raced in the autumn, but people that haven't seen him since the spring have just commented like he's got probably about half a hand tall and a big hand wider. He's just thickened up all over, and he's just a lot stronger. Even the same people that ride him all the time, they just said he's just like going from Mercedes-Benz to the Rolls-Royce. He just feels stronger, and he is stronger all over.
But the biggest change in Octagonal is the man on board. Despite the autumn success, Darren Beedman has given up the mount, electing instead to stay in Sydney and ride Saintly. That's opened the door for Darren Gauci, the man who couldn't make the weight when offered the ride on Octagonal in last year's Cox Plate. Unlike some racing followers, Gauci can make sense of Beedman's decision.
It didn't surprise me really. Look back in their autumn form in Sydney. There wasn't a great deal between the two horses. Saintly looked like a likely horse that would improve a fair bit, being a lean type of horse. But don't underestimate Octagonal because I think he's improved as well. Well, we'll all know sooner or later who's made the right decision.
There's plenty of reasons why Octagonal can't win today. Among them the fact he's been beaten twice first up and isn't suited over 1,200 metres. But like we learned with Kieran Perkins, sporting champions have an innate quality that allows them to turn hurdles into little more than speed bumps.
He'll be storming down the outside. Whether he wins or not's a different story. Not to say that he can't win, but it's obviously going to be his most vulnerable race for the spring, and whatever he does, he certainly will be improved upon.
Win or lose, Octagonal's run will set the scene for one of the great spring carnivals. Saintly, Nothing Like a Dane and the underrated Falante are expected to resume next weekend in Sydney. But the Big O's staying in Melbourne, his long-term target, back-to-back victories on the last Saturday in October.
Octagonal, Mahogany are coming to the line, locked together. It's a fantastic finish, Octagonal. Octagonal wins the Cox Plate.
He's here for the Cox Plate, and that's what the #1 mission is, and anything he can win on the way will be a bonus.
To preview the Manikato Stakes, a race named after the horse with a mighty reputation on the Moonee Valley track, here's his biggest fan, Simon O'Donnell.
Thanks very much, Ken, and the atmosphere here is absolutely electric. The stand is full at Moonee Valley. People are here with an air of expectancy, wishing Octagonal to win this Manikato Stakes. We're not far away from finding out. The horse itself looked fantastic in the parade. He's nice and calm. Darren Gauci looked very calm himself. Everyone connected with Octagonal really do expect him to run well. There he is on screen. He has furnished very well over the winter months. We're expecting a big spring campaign out of him. And look, you can't help but just wrap the horse. There's one of his dangers, Sequalo. It's trained by Charlie Weymouth, ridden by Norman Weymouth. It's a horse that's a bit of a specialist from 1,000 to 1,200 metres. And again, he looked exceptional in the yard. He jumps from barrier 11. It's going to be pretty hard for Sequalo. He's going to have to go forward. Norman Weymouth will have to have his wits about him to make sure he can win that race. Another horse out of the Weymouth stable was number 13 there, and that was Street Talk. So, look, we're set. The scene is set for a ripper race here. There's another chance, number 15, and number 15, Furamaya Knights, and that's trained by Mike Moroney at Morfettville. It's come over from New Zealand. Furamaya Knights has a great chance. We just saw Octagonal again there on screen, and everyone here is willing Octagonal to win. Whether he can or not in an unsuitable 1,200 metres, we're not too sure. Sequalo again looked exceptional in the paddock. Charlie Weymouth has this horse absolutely spot on to win this race, and I'm sure he's going to acquit himself exceptionally well. Number 11 we're just looking at there is Auntie Mary, again an outsider this mare. 71 starts, he's had 11 wins in time. Patrick Payne's on board. He's a good Group 1 jockey. He'll handle the pressure fine. I'm just not sure whether Auntie Mary today can measure up to this top-class field. Another danger to Octagonal in this race is You Remember. Malcolm Pay will be riding You Remember, trained by Lance Smith at Caulfield. The form leading into this race is very much exceptional. Won the Bletchingley over 1,100 metres at Caulfield a fortnight ago, and this horse You Remember is quite fancied to run Octagonal off his legs. I think we'll see Octagonal drop back a little early on, and then Darren Gauci will be asking him to finish home over that last 800 metres exceptionally quickly. So there's plenty happening here at Moonee Valley. There's an air of excitement. Octagonal looking so well in the yard. I'm sure he's very short on the books. And to tell us all about it, here's Kenny Callender.
Thanks, Simon. You shouldn't look so worried. Champ's overcome any obstacles. He'll get back, sure, but he'll steam around them down the outside and hopefully get the prize. The prices, number 1, Sequalo, is showing at $9. These are Victorian TAB dividends. That's for a $1 investment. Oops, I've turned that board. I think that's right now. Number 2, You Remember, is returning $8 for $1. Poetic King, $15. Del Sol is one of the roughies at $51. Sir Boom, good second-grade sprinter, $34. Plushka was the emergency, and it's not required. Temperate Puck, $67. Another excuse, $26. Octagonal, the hot pot, 6-4 on the tote, $2.50 return for $1. 26 Cheviot, $81 Auntie Mary, 41 Bouverie Mist, Street Talk, $21, Ballroom Bay, well in commission, $11, and Furama Knights, who I thought may be the danger to Octagonal, $8.50. Okay, as we can see, they're milling around behind the barrier. Octagonal's drawn a pretty good barrier, 6, and he won't get too far away, but oh boy, Simon, we'll be looking for him around the outside.
Yeah, we certainly will be looking for him around the outside. It's going to be interesting. There's a lot of pressure also on Darren Gauci today, with Beedman getting off after a sensational autumn campaign. There's a lot to be asked of Darren Gauci, that he keeps a cool head. I'm sure he won't let them get too far away from him.
Yeah, I said Octagonal drew 6. Actually, with the scratching of Plushka, he comes into 5. If you're looking for him, there he's just going into the barrier now in the bright cerise colours, almost to pink, and they stand out, and you'll, well, I'm sure our caller John Russell will be letting you know where he is. Simon, I can even feel the tension up here.
Yes, there's certainly tension, and it's amazing what a horse can actually do to a racetrack. And there are people here everywhere. After race 4, the place just went alight, and everyone just expecting Octagonal, and they couldn't wait to see him. And the mounting yard was packed, the stands are now packed, and we're in for a great race.
We sure are, and last time Octagonal was at Moonee Valley, of course, was last October when he won the nation's Weight for Age Championship at the WS Cox Plate. Okay, we're just waiting now for You Remember to go in. He's behind the barrier in the pink and red colours there. In he goes. Let's go to our caller, John Russell.
Race over 1,200 metres. Set to go on the Manikato for 1996. The lights are on. They're off. Great start. Del Sol on the inside, one of the first to jump out, quickly headed by Ballroom Babing, beginning well. Street Talk and You Remember. Sequalo going fast just in behind them, followed by Furama Knights on the inside of Poetic King. They're followed closely then by Sir Boom, Temperate Pug, followed by Another Excuse. A length to Bouvry missed. Octagonal's got two behind him early, and they are Cheviot and Auntie Mary as they come down to the 800 metre mark. Ballroom Babe is the leader. Just in advance now. You Remember moving up on the outside into the picture, being followed by Street Talk. A length further back as Del Sol. Sequalo was out three deep as they come down the school side, being followed by Furama Knights on the inside of Poetic King, Temperate Pug. Bouvry missed a bit further back. Another Excuse. Octagonal starting to wind up. He's very wide as they come up the school side with about 500 metres left to go. You Remember takes the lead, a length in advance of Ballroom Babe. Sequalo putting himself in the picture, so is Poetic King. They're followed by Temperate Pug, and right around them Octagonal is winding up as they come into the straight now. You Remember on the inside has got through to tackle Sequalo, Poetic King. They're followed by Furama Knights, and back behind them Sir Boom, and here comes the big O down the outside. He's giving the leaders a long start. Poetic King takes the leader. 100 metres left to go. Sequalo fights back. It's on the outside. Poetic King, You Remember. And on the outside, Poetic King has done best and just beats You Remember. And Sequalo close in behind them. Sir Boom from Knights further back. Followed by Del Sol. Octagonal finished midfield. And he was followed next home there by Street Talk. And further back, Another Excuse. Followed by Chevy Auntie Mary. Back behind them, Temperate Pug. And last to finish is Bouvry missed.
Well, he was disappointing. I know he had a particularly hard run, but he didn't pick them up much at all in the straight, and he's finished sixth down the outside. That's Poetic King in the purple colours with the white cap, just getting to the lead. It's You Remember over on the rails, and Sequalo between horses. No doubt the winner is Poetic King, very close for second and third. I think you'll find it's possibly You Remember second, Sequalo third. But Octagonal, sixth place, and on the face value, I know it was too short for him. I know he'll do a lot better, but he was just a tad disappointing. But the winner certainly is Poetic King. A break and then more, including a lot more racing on the wide world of sports.
Still to come on Wide World of Sports. More sensational snow business in the freestyle slalom spectacular from our wild winter weekend. And we catch up with Olympic basketball medalist Michelle Timms and Shelley Sandy. You'll see how Mark Brooks kept his nerve at Valhalla to win the US PGA. Have another shot at the cash in our $5,000 Memorable Moments giveaway. And feel the earth shake as the Sharks and the Eels collide head-on in our Saturday Rugby League special. Join Johnny Tapp tomorrow morning on The Racing Show, reviewing Octagonal's return, plus all the latest racing news. There's finals features
there from the snow, and there's the dividends on the race 5. The Manikato Stakes. Poetic King paid $10.80 and $2.90. You Remember $2.30, and Sequalo $2.80 Victorian dividends. And of course that was Moonee Valley Race 5 Manikato Stakes. Today's rugby league action comes from Shark Park, where the Western Sub